The phrase she squeezed her fingers can be translated into Japanese depending on the nuance you want. Here are a few natural ways. 1. 彼女は字を言った。彼女は指を握った。Literally, she grabbed, squeezed her fingers. Simple and neutral. Yigiru means to grip or squeeze. 2. 彼女は指をぎゅっと打った。Nigita adds gyuto, an adverb emphasizing a tight or firm squeeze. This is more expressive and natural in storytelling. 3. 彼女は指をくわえた。を強く握った。Literally, she squeezed her fingers strongly. Emphasizes force. If you want, I can also give a version that's the phrase press the egg tighter can be translated into Japanese depending on context, but a natural way would be 手のもっと強く押した。Tamago. Egg. Motto was more, tighter. 強く押した pressed strongly. If you want a slightly more casual or descriptive tone, you could also say ぎゅっと押した。Gyutto gives a sense of tightly or firmly, often used for squeezing or pressing. A natural way to express still enough calcium that it didn't break in Japanese could be 割れないくらい十分なカルシウムがある. Breaking it down, doesn't break. Kurai equals to the extent, enough that. 十分な, enough, sufficient. Equals calcium, がある. There is, has. Another, slightly more natural phrasing depending on context. まだ十分なカルシウムがあって割れなかった。まだ。Still. あって has, existed. 割れなかった didn't break. This version emphasizes the still part a bit more. If you tell the phrase, that was good in Japanese can be expressed in a few ways depending on context. 1. よかった。よかった. This is the most common and casual way to say it. Example, after eating a meal, この料理よかった. This meal was good. 2. よかったです. Polite version, suitable in formal situations. Example, after a performance, 今日の発表よかったです. Yesterday's presentation was good. 3. おいしかった. Oishiffically for food. It was delicious. So, for general situations, よかった works perfectly. If you want, I can give a few. A natural way to translate, she listened to the soft chatter outside and hated herself. Into Japanese would be, 彼女は外の柔らかなおしゃべりを聞きながら自分を気合を切らげりなった。Breaking it down. 彼女は外の柔らかなおしゃべり The soft chatter outside. 自分を嫌いになった Came to hate herself. Hated herself. If you want, I can also suggest a more literary or emotional version that a natural translation of their beating flightless wings when they saw her coming into Japanese could be 彼女が近づいてくるのを見て羽ばたくことのできない雲がいた。彼らは羽ばたく翼 Here's the breakdown. 彼女が近づいてくるのを見て Seeing her coming 彼らは they 羽ばたくことのできない plus wings. Literally, wings that cannot flap もがいた Beat, struggled, flapped captures the frantic movement. If you want, I can also give a more poetic, literary version that keeps the vivid imagery. The phrase, their dumb trust, can be translated into Japanese, but the nuance depends on how casual or harsh you want it to sound. A natural sounding way would be, ピラの馬鹿げた信頼. 彼らの their 馬鹿げた dumb, foolish, ridiculous, 信頼 trust, confidence. You could also use ukana instead of marageta for a slightly more formal or literary tone. 彼らのukana信頼 If you want, I can also. The phrase, following her around the yard, can be translated into Japanese in a few ways, depending on the tone and context casual, neutral, or literary. A natural translation would be, Tea wo uro uro shinagara karanyo no o tsuite iku. Shinagara no ato o iku. Breaking it down. Tiwa, yard garden. O, object marker. Wandering around. Pacing back and forth. Karanyo no, after her, following her. Tsuiteiku, to follow, go along with. Another slightly simpler version. Tiu de karanyo no hou o tsuitewaru. Tsuitewaili, to follow around, in a casual, descriptive sense. The phrase, letting her reach in and take their brood, can be translated into Japanese in a few ways depending on the tone and context, literal, poetic, or casual. A literal translation could be, Karano ga te o irete kodomo tachi o tsuretsu no yurusu. Romajo ga terete kodomo tachi o tsuresaru no o yurusu. Kono ga rete, reach in. Kodomo tachi o, their brood, children. Tsuretsuru no yurusu, let, allow to take away. If by brood you mean animal offspring, like chicks or eggs, it would be more natural to say, Karano ga te o irete twamo o toru no yurusu. Romaji, tamago yurusu. Tao. The English sentence you gave is a bit nuanced and informal, so a natural Japanese translation would need to capture the sense of effort wasted or being returned to others. Version. Here's a polished version. Areke no taishi ya noriku wa gomi ni suterareta ri ubaikai sarete karera ni ataerareta ri shite ita. Gomi ni suterareta. Gobaikai sarete. Ataereta. Atita. Breaking it down. Karanyo ga soide kita, that she had been putting in, pouring. Aredake no saishiujing and effort. Gomi ni suterareta ri, thrown into the trash. Ubaikai sarete karera ni ataerareta ri, scrambled and fed back to them. Literally, taken back and given to them. Shiteita, past continuous sense, was happening. If you want. The English sentence, Lucas always said they should, can be translated into Japanese depending on the nuance, but a natural way is, Lucas wa itsubeki da to yutte ita. Breaking it down. Lucas. Lucas. Wa, topic marker. Itsumo, always. Subeki da. Should, do something. Toitte, said, used to say. Notes. The subeki da part needs the verb for the action you mean. E.g., ikubeki da equals should go. If you want to keep it vague like they should without specifying, subeki da works. Japanese often includes quotation marks. A natural way to say scrambled eggs help the hens regain nutrients lost while laying in Japanese would be スクランブルエッグは産卵で失った栄養を鳥が取り戻すのに役立った。スクランブルエッグ。産卵で失った equals nutrients lost during laying. 鳥が取り戻すのに役立った。These helped the hens regain. If you want, I can also make a slightly more natural, concise version that would sound smoother in Japanese scientific. The English phrase, he'd rattle out the list of benefits, conveys someone speaking quickly or mechanically, almost without thought, listing the benefits. In Japanese, we need to capture both the listing of benefits and the fast, almost casual delivery. A natural translation could be, 彼はメリットの板のツツンと気にした。Tsikte, tsurera, one after another, rapidly. Kunisuru, to speak, mention. Or slightly more casual natural, パリはメリットをhetsugi zawaにあげた。Etsugi zawaに kitsazitly, rapidly in quick succession. Ageru, to list, to mention. Both convey the phrase protein, calcium, magnesium, vitamins A, E, B6, and B12 can be translated into Japanese as tampakutsu karashiumu, vitamin A, E, B6, B12, protein, karashiumu, calcium, magnesium, vitamin A, E, B6, B12, vitamin A, B6, B12 equals vitamins A, E, B6. A natural way to say, and her thoughts would start to drift in Japanese would be, そして彼女の思考はたろい始めた。そして、socio no, her. 思考, thoughts or thinking. たろい始めた, started to drift. If you want it to sound a bit more literary or poetic, common in novels, you could also say, そして彼女の心はたろい始めた。彼女の心は漂い始めた。Here, sin literally means heart, mind, and often conveys emotions and thoughts together, giving a softer, more introspective nuance. I can give 2 to 3 more natural sounding alternatives that would